Yes, this is Andrew Savage. You're listening to Dispatch Radio.
All right, folks, we have another great show on Discovery coming up, and I want to talk about Treasure Quest Snake Island with Mehgan Heaney-Grier, and it is a great privilege. She is a dive master and swimming with the sharks, documenting alligators. I mean, wow, Mehgan, you've got to maybe go to a mall sometime. That's some crazy, crazy action-adventure lifestyle that you got going on.
Yeah, I have definitely an eclectic mix of adventures in my background, for sure.
So the show itself, tell us a little bit about Snake Island, what you're going to be doing on this new show, and, what will be some of the appeal for the folks at home?
So Treasure Quest is definitely an expedition-based show, and there's going to be something for everybody, really. It's got the adventure. It's got plenty of snakes and danger mixed in with it. And it's also got the historical and the educational component mixed in with all of that as well. We spend a considerable amount of time underwater, which is, a big part of where I came into play. And we're also spending a lot of time out in the jungle and really, dodging the snakes and the other dangers that we were running into along the way. It overall, it's kind of got equal parts of all of those. So it was an epic adventure living it, and I'm excited to see the finished product as well. But it's also got the dynamics of the team worked in. We all have different specialties and definitely different personalities. So I think, that was interesting and exciting to be living day to day down there, and I think it's gonna make for some entertaining viewing as well.
Now, is most of it filmed, or is all of it filmed right there off of Brazil?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so you're looking for what kind of snakes, what kind of things are we gonna be seeing?
Well, so we're looking for the treasure of the Trinity, which is literally worth hundreds of millions of dollars in today's world. And, it depends on who on the team you ask what we were looking for, really, because, you ask our in-house expert, the herpetologist, he's going to say he was there looking for the snakes, and I'm looking for the treasure and extremely interested in the historical aspect of it and what that has to offer. And, and then we have our team leader, Cork, and he's a treasure hunter. And so it's really a dynamic group, and it was a grand adventure. It's going to have something for everybody.
We're talking about Treasure Quest Snake Island, Discovery Channel's new show that's going to air and begin on July 17th at 10 p.m. on Discovery Channel. And, it's got to be quite a balance with a team like that where you have sort of historical and archaeological significance. So everybody's kind of jockeying a little bit for the direction they need to go in and how that's handled. How did that work with Cork Graham, and, how was it sort of focused so everybody's kind of stays on the same page?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the first time, so Cork put this team together. So this is the first time that we all had, been in the same place and working together as a team. And, I'm going to be honest, it was challenging at times, for sure, because we were all there for, we were brought onto the team with our different specialties and for different reasons. And so there were times where, we were jockeying for different positions and going after different aspects of this. Captain Keefe and I have, a kind of more of interest in the academic side of it and the historical aspects of it, and have, some studies and background in marine archaeology. And then you have Jeremy, our MacGyver, on the team, who can literally fix anything with, a fingernail clipper and piece of chewing gum. And he's got a background in a lot of treasure hunting as well. So there were times when, Cork, I think, had his hands full trying to get the team to get aligned and really, start going after the same, because we were all on the same expedition, obviously, and going after the same thing, but maybe with different interests in mind.
What's it like on a trip like this? Obviously, I think even the press and Discovery themselves point out how, this is a lot of, high energy, high testosterone fueled alpha males and that kind of thing on a crew like this and put together for these kinds of adventures and expeditions. And yet then there's Mehgan. And Mehgan is this amazing diver and swimmer and this incredible resume that you've already put together. How does that sort of play out? I mean, obviously Cork's included you on the team, but how does that play out in your relationship dynamics and trying to carve out the right kind of niche for you?
Sure. With my background and my different career choices over my lifetime here, I am used to being in male dominated arenas. So, I feel like over my lifetime I've gotten pretty good at generally blending in as kind of one of the guys. Everybody in the beginning is all polite and, oh, I'm sorry, I cussed, or, oh, I'm sorry, and by the third, fourth day, it's like, man, all bets are off, everybody's fine, and I'm blending in just fine. But really, it's something I'm very used to, and I can hang out with, a crew of 20 guys all day long, and, I always say at the end of the day, I am still a woman, I would like, I'll keep everybody, I don't know. It just kind of, it all falls into place. It's kind of par for the course as far as I'm concerned with my background.
We're talking with Mehgan Heaney-Grier. She's the expedition dive master on Discovery's new show, Treasure Quest Snake Island, a very exciting adventure show that begins on July 17th. And Mehgan she's an extraordinary diver with an incredible resume. She was one of the original inductees in the Women's Diver Hall of Fame. Can you believe it's been 20 years since your free dive record in 1996? I was looking at the press. I highlighted that, circled it. 160 feet on a single breath.
Yeah, 165 feet, and it was. I know it seems like a lifetime ago, but it's been a lot of fun along the way. I got to tell you.
Are there some expeditions that are still on like the to-do list? There's some sort of places and things that you haven't had a chance to get to, and just maybe a time, maybe accessibility, something like that. You're like, this is still on my radar screen.
Oh yeah, I've got a long bucket list of, a lot of it involves sharks and shark diving, and I'm very big into marine conservation, so that component for me plays a huge role. So I'd love to do tours of some of the big MPAs around the world, the marine protected areas, and then and shark conservation is a big deal to me as well. So I've got a lot of watery shark adventures in my future, I think.
Well, you can't get in the water this much with sharks and alligators and such and not have a few scares. You got a couple of stories that you might share with us?
Yeah, I definitely had some hair-raising adventures along the way. One of the first times I got in the water with an alligator, they're so cryptic, their camouflage is just amazing. The way that they're designed and blend into their surroundings, in particular underwater. So that was one of the most hair-raising experiences that I've had, where the people I was diving with were like, no, we're going to get in and check it out, kind of playing the, oh, you're a girl card, which never settles very well with me. So they got in the water and kind of headed out, and they were doing their thing, and I was like, well, forget this, I'm going to get in too. And so I jumped in, but they were, a good ways ahead of me. And I jumped in, and a big 10-foot alligator had just been in this area and had kicked up the stilts on the bottom. So I jumped in literally to zero visibility. I put my hand up in front of my face just to see if I had like 1 foot of it. Nothing. No visibility. And, I'm like, I better catch up with these guys because, it was a new experience for me. I was not, I didn't have a whole lot of experience in the swamp under my belt at this point. And so I caught up with them, and it took me a while before I could actually spot the alligators. Now I can get in the water and see them everywhere. But at that point, I had to start training my eye. And to some degree, Snake Island was a lot like that. The snakes are so camouflaged and so cryptic that you literally, you could be looking at this pile of leaves or this branch or this tree or whatever, and it's right there. And it's like one of those weird, pictures that's on the wall where you're trying to train your eye to pick out.
Yeah, like an optical illusion, right? It's kind of like they're blended in so well you can't even see them.
Yeah, so for me, it's like a trained, learned skill. And Jeremy, could spot them like no problem. But it was really, really a dangerous scenario with those snakes because they were everywhere and they are extremely hard to see. So yeah, so it definitely was hair raising at times, and kind of like spotting alligators underwater.
Well, it's got to be kind of almost like a difficult thing to imagine you winding down and actually relaxing. But what do you actually do to kind of contrast this time when you have downtime, or is there not much downtime for Mehgan?
So you mean just in regular life, or when we were?
Yeah, in regular life. I mean, I guess on the show too, but I mean regular life.
Well, I like to do my best to try and strike a balance with relaxation and hitting that refresh button, and then keep it busy. But I definitely am a busybody. I have a 2-year-old, so I rarely am sitting still. Love spending time with the family and getting out and outdoors, where I live here in Colorado, and then I visit the Keys, which is my homeland, and I just really enjoy sharing that with the kids and really passing on that knowledge and love and passion for the environment and the ocean and sharks and instilling that in them. So I do that. I work for a nonprofit here in Colorado as well called the Colorado Ocean Coalition. So strangely enough, I moved from Florida out to here and get my ocean job, and I lead the ocean ambassadors here in Colorado, and work diligently on saving the oceans from a mile high in my spare time.
That's awesome. We've been talking with Mehgan Heaney-Grier, and it is a great opportunity. And thanks to Discovery so much for including us and promoting the show, Treasure Quest Snake Island, which premieres Friday. That's July 17th. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and Discovery Channel has another great epic show, another epic journey, a lot of adventure, and it's kind of a really cool twist to have the treasure hunters and the environmentalists seeking out deadly snakes all in the same show together. I can't wait to get deeper into this one, and I can't thank you enough, Mehgan, for spending time with us talking about the show, and can't just wish you the best.
Well, thank you. Likewise. Thanks so much for having me on.